And we are back. We doing
How you doing,
right.
man?
I'm doing all right, Bryan.
You doing all right?
You ain't gotta ask me. I'm always all right. We're doing just fine. Appreciate you, sir. Bryan Broaddus. He taps in with us daily. Now, when the regular season come around, I'm gonna give Bryan a break at some point.
Oh man,
and we'll do this Friday. We'll do this Friday or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't need a break, man. I love working with you, brother.
Appreciate
Good to see your face again.
Hey, man. The people say the word all-star type lineup. You know what I mean? So that sounds good. Bryan, let me tell you something, man.
Voch asked Bryan if he was one of the Joneses, would he be okay with flying around in a jet plane every day?
Bryan, we would all love to be on a yacht or a jet plane, catching them big ass tunas about that big. We would love to do that out in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah, I got you, man. Go ahead. What do you got?
Bryan, I like to ask questions that nobody's asked you today, man. That's just what I like to do.
I appreciate that.
Broaddus, Voch asked this. Mm-hmm. I'm the head coach.
Yeah.
And I'm trusting everybody to do their job. Right. I delegate everyone to do their job. Okay. Mm-hmm. At what point, as the head coach, do I look at one of my coordinators, assistant coach, whoever, and I don't like something?
Yeah.
And I take away the idea of I'm letting you do your job. At what point does head coach intervention, y'all write that down, it will be on the test. Head coach intervention. At what point does that happen? And here's my context.
Okay.
Bryan, I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera, man. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty successful at doing this, but go ahead.
Hey, man, we do all right, man. But I feel like there's a handful of things that we always talk about, man. And, you know, Chauncey's a natural defensive end. Why is he over there? Put him back at defensive end. Hey, you know, this Brock Hoffman character would be a really good depth piece. Brock Hoffman may be the best backup center in the league, but that strong dude over there, I think I want to know what life is like with that strong dude. But if I delegate to Solari, Joe Philbin won't even play Tyler Smith. Solari won't even play Beebe. At what point as head coach do I go, this little thing that y'all was doing, that's enough. We're playing the better dudes and we're about to run this, Bryan. When does that happen?
It usually happens, and this is when you need to ask me the question. Bryan Broaddus, Voch wants to ask you if your last name's Jones. I'm going to play that game again. Your last name is Jones. When are you going to walk in there and tell the head coach that you need to be playing somebody else at center? You need to be playing somebody else at defensive end. You need to be doing something else. Your owner is your general manager. The Stephen Jones, super involved, as we all know. Will McClay, super involved, as we all know. There comes a point in time where you're like, listen, we drafted Beebe to be our center. We did. We traded back. We got this tackle who's a good tackle. It's going to be a fine player, but we need to play both these kids. Yeah. And that's when it comes down. The story I'll always remember from the Jimmy Johnson days, and it was told to me by Nate Newton, and it happened to do with Eric Williams. And when Jimmy walked in there and told Tony Wise, the line coach, in a meeting in front of all of them, hey, you're playing Eric Williams at right tackle. That's it. Well, Jimmy, no, you're playing. Then Nate had to go in there and beg to play guard because he was the right tackle that was getting replaced. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. This could come from the front office as a suggestion. But it could also come from the head coach as a suggestion that, hey, I like what you're talking about here with Brock Hoffman. Brock Hoffman, I love the fact that you're telling me he's first in, last out, tough guy, weight room guy, studies the game, loves the game. All those things are really good. But we're going to put 56 at center now. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and, you know what, we all don't have a lot of time here. Yeah. And if we're gonna keep our gigs, we maybe have to play our best guys. And I'll say this though, Voch, I went back and watched. I think you probably did the same thing because you're a diligent guy, attention to detail guy. You go back and you watch. I don't think Hoffman was terrible in the game against the Rams. I don't think he was terrible. I'm saying that right now. But I'm saying that I think Beebe was better.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are talking about that right now. And when you watch the tape, it's not that Brock Hoffman was terrible. It's just that, Beebe, like in a game, you're going, okay,
sure.
I see why people like this guy. You're right. The toughness, the power, the awareness, hey, he made a couple mistakes in the game. Sure. So did Hoffman. Mm-hmm. But to your point, it either is going to come from the general manager to the coach, or it's straight just going to come from the coach. And I'd like to think that Mike McCarthy, from what I've seen so far, I think Mike McCarthy's on some things here, because I realize that, Mike McCarthy realizes this might be his last campaign.
Sure.
This might be the last time he gets to come to Oxnard, California and practice football. So getting your best players on the field probably is on line one.
Bryan, I got another philosophical question, and don't get yourself fired here. And if you need to plead the fifth,
I've already been fired.
Hey, man,
a couple times.
We in court. If you need to plead the fifth, say so, man. You have the right, because we're gonna use it against you, bro. If your last name is Jones and you can't get fired, right?
Yeah, right.
At what point are you balancing the opinion of your scouts and your coaches, right? Because we have this joke that we say on the channel all the time, right? Jerry don't watch film because he rich. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get, if I come in, if I'm a 200,000 there, I'm gonna stop watching film as much as I normally do, bro. You know what I mean? And like I'm grinding now, like I'm trying to work. But if
I think you're capping right now. I think if you're a Jillionaire, you're still watching tape.
I know
you and I've got friends that are Jillionaires that watch tape.
That's fair. I know Jerry ass ain't watching no film. I know that, Bryan.
Yeah.
And so I can only imagine in the pre-draft process, Jerry's looking at Will, and Will's going, "Hey man, we need to upgrade at center. Hoffman ain't it." But then Jerry probably takes counsel from his coaches too, and he go, "Hey, we can win with Hoffman them, right?" If you Jerry, man, who do you look at? Who do you talk to?
That's a great question, because I've lived this one, and I lived it when the coaches had way more opinion than the scouts, and that is, Jerry really leaned on the coaches back in the day, and we didn't do a very good job of fighting. Well, I'll take that back. I fought a lot, which got me fired. The other guys in the building fought at various times. When a Bill Parcells, and I've mentioned Jacob Rogers from USC, second-round pick, and Tom Siskowski tells him, "Bill, he's everything you hate in a player." Mm-hmm. And then Jerry says, "Bill, what do you think?" "Well, we're going to take this Jacob Rogers." Okay. Bill's got some skins on the wall, but, there's some guys. I wasn't a part of the Chan Gailey administration. I was during the season of 99. I wasn't for the draft. I was not part of anything to do with Wade Phillips or, the Dave Campos stuff. Dave really didn't care as much as some head coaches do. But I think that Jerry and Steven and Will, it is a real balancing act for Will, because the scouts get mad at the coaches get mad at the scouts, and then both Jerry and Steven get mad at both groups. And so Will has to find a way to kind of navigate that, and he has to be very diplomatic about how he handles that. So to me, I think that Jerry early in his career really leaned on Jimmy, and they won Super Bowls. Then he kind of carried that into the early 2000s and really leaned on his coaches, and it wasn't good enough, and we were bad. Mm-hmm. And then Parcells came in, things got better. Then all of a sudden you had the Jeff Irelands, the Tom Siskowskis, and then Will McClay has really kind of put this thing into a different hemisphere. So I think over the years, Jerry has relied less and less on his coaches and more. They drafted Mozzie Smith. If you remember the clip from Will McClay, I've said it 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. You remember the clip of Will McClay standing in there in the draft room at the Star talking about Mozzie Smith. This is our guy. Yeah. What Jerry Jones do? They drafted Mozzie Smith.
I would just love to know what those conversations sound like, because at one point it was like sounding like Hoffman had all the momentum, all the energy in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just one Monday, like, hey, y'all, Beebe is going to take snaps with the first team, and that's the bottom line because I said so. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and I'm wondering, did it take like a game for us to see that? Because none of the other starters played, you know, like Rico Dowdle got out there, but I guess he's in a committee also. But Brock Hoffman went out there, and just like we always say, Brian, Brock was a hat guy. Even in even in this preseason game, right? He kind of, I'm engaging with you, and you didn't get over there, but I did my job, right? Hey, you falling down, but I'm gonna fall on top of you again. But I did my job, right? And you see Beebe moving people, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You know, you see Beebe sitting down on people. You see him, you know, help guy, all that kind of stuff, finding work and all that kind of stuff. And it just seems like Beebe had the glaring better tape, but he had the glaring better traits this whole time. I guess they just needed the tape to see it. Go ahead.
I think they were scared. I think they were scared of the bad snaps initially. If Beebe would have come in here and everything would have been on point with those snaps, I think that might have been a different story. But there was such a, as you've mentioned, and you know, we heard it when we were at the Star a bunch. Mm-hmm. Every time we brought up Beebe, they talked about Brock Hoffman.
Yeah.
And they're doing it now with Malik Davis. They're doing the same thing with Malik Davis. You know, they're trying to sell us, you know, Malik Davis. And so, you know, hey, he's a good player, this, that, you know, you know, there's some positions they absolutely need to look at. And running back is one of them, I think. You know, if you want to go with Zeke and Dowdle and Hunter Lipke, go find somebody else then. You know, go find a better Malik Davis. Mm-hmm. Go find a better Rico Dowdle. Go find a better Ezekiel Elliott, you know. Yeah. That's what you really, really need to do. So, it's the Brock Hoffman thing is, you know, I we've kind of gone back and forth, and you know, and I think that Mike Solari might lose this one, you know, because the kid looked good in the game against the Rams. He practiced well against the Rams today.
Sure,
you know, handled the shotgun snaps, handled the blocking assignments. Didn't look like there was any time where they really were out of whack. You know, I thought it was a really rough day for the offense, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you were out here watching practice with me, Voch, you would have gone, whoa, what was that throw? What was that all about? I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about Guyton and things like that.
Sure.
If you know, that's the danger a little bit of the clips. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of plays in these practices, and we get one or two clips. And I think if the Cowboy Nation was out here all watching practice, that we might have a little bit different. Not that Guyton was terrible, but Guyton got broke down about 3 different times in this practice. Mm-hmm. And he gave up what would have been 2 sacks, had a chance for a third, had a holding call that they're lucky they didn't lose Zach Martin on the play. Yeah. He got locked up with Verse, and Verse went to the ground and almost ended up in the back of Zach Martin's legs. That would have been a terrible thing. I mean, you could literally see Brian Schottenheimer, when it happened, behind the play, turn and like cover his eyes, like thinking, you know, but not all bad. Yeah. Not everything was bad for Guyton. There was stuff that was good in the one-on-one stuff. You know, they were kind of keeping him on the pitch count stuff again. But today he gave up what would have been 2 sacks, the holding call, and then also had the false start. And so, you know, that's the day. That's the kind of day that, you know, you deal with these young players. They're going to have really good reps and really good practices, but they're also going to have times where they're not very good. He's got to learn, and I'm talking about Guyton.
Sure.
You just can't place your hands. You just can't place them, because the one thing that Verse was doing to him today that got him twice was slapping those hands.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were behind him and you're watching like I was watching, hands getting slapped, hands going down. Now he's past the guy. And Hoyt just went around him, just hopped around him. And you got a guy that was kind of leaning a little bit and just hopped around him and then tagged off and, you know, on Dak before he got the ball out. So those are things that he's going to have to learn on technique. Feet could be really good. knee bend could be really good. Balance could be really good, which he does all these things. He does. He was great in that game the other day. My gosh, he was great.
Yeah.
But today first broke him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Good learning experience for him.
Guyton has clearly improved tenfold from where I've seen him, seen him in college or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So where's your confidence level in those guys week 1 versus the Browns and Beebe and Guyton separately?
Yeah, this is where now all of a sudden, just keep putting out the good film, if you can, of the preseason, if Guyton continues to get opportunities to play, because we know what that guy at the Browns can do.
Yeah.
That guy will break you down.
Yeah.
He will slap your hands. He'll push your hands down. He'll grab your pad. He'll rip underneath you. He'll just take his speed all the way around.
Yeah.
He'll take you up the field and work back underneath. That's why he's one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. That's why he leads the league in sacks a lot of the times, because he has a wide variety of rush moves. Now, the Cowboys are going to be smart. They're not going to throw this kid out there by himself. There'll be some reps where he has to go by himself, and that's fine. That's going to be, we'll work around it. But my confidence level, I have high confidence in this kid.
Yeah.
Because I know he'll compete. Right now he's struggling a little bit with the chest stuff. He's trying to get his wind back. But like I say, it wasn't all bad today. Yeah. There were good reps. I mean, there was a clip I know people saw of him in the one-on-one stuff. That's good play. I mean, he had some good plays today in the team periods that I saw. But you do worry about him getting up against a guy that's going to throw a bunch of pass rush. And we've seen him rush against play against a Micah Parsons and hold his own. But that cat in Cleveland's different. Yeah. And this guy, this verse, he kind of got an idea that hands up were going to mean hands aside and kind of get him turned. And once he got him turned, he was able to kind of work that shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's where that day, and it was great learning day for him. Wasn't a game, didn't get his quarterback hurt.
Sure.
We almost lost the all-pro right guard, but that's because he was trying like hell not to let Verse beat him inside. He was trying to cut him off, and they got tangled and went to the ground. But man, that was a scary moment there for a bit.
Yeah. And what about
Beebe?
Beebe.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so damn long-winded. I apologize to everybody.
Please.
The thing with Beebe, the snaps continue to be good.
Yeah.
The awareness continues to be good. The other day in the game, he got caught in a twist stunt, and he was late. He was trying to help, and he was late to see it to get. Today, they tried to do some stuff inside of him, and he was where he needed to be. His ability in the run game, he's got a good feel for playing on his feet. He does a good job of getting his hands inside. He does a good job of working with the guards when they ask. And he had to go with a mismatch of guys today. It was really kind of a strange day. They started losing tackles, and they had, like I say, they had Guyton on the pitch count, so he really couldn't go. So they're kicking guys all over the place. But this kid can hold his own. He's strong. He's smart. You could tell it's important to him the way he plays. And he plays on his feet, and I, as long as the snaps are good. Now, I will say this today, it was a weird day. They had 3 fumbles today. They had Dak, the backs weren't, the mesh point stuff twice in the red zone. And then one time in team period. And they had 3 false starts today, by the way. And that was kind of killer today as well.
Yeah.
But overall with Beebe, continue to play both these guys. That was the plan. That was the plan all along for everybody in Cowboy Nation was play it all along. Let's go play. Let's play. And we're getting there.
If your last name is Jones in week 2 preseason, are you playing Hoffman first again? You playing him second? How much do you play him? Do you play him at all? Like, what are you doing with Hoffman?
You know what? I'm going to give Beebe a good bit of work, though.
Yeah,
I really am. And then I'm going to let Hoffman and Shipley and those guys finish that thing out. I don't want to lose Hoffman though, because Hoffman is a backup guy could probably. But there were things. The thing that Hoffman struggles with, he's just not a good athlete.
Yeah.
He's strong, but you'll see at times he loses the power. He will lose to power, and that's surprising to me because, but you saw the time with Broaddus lose the power a lot,
all the time,
a lot, and so that's the thing, that's the difference. Now, when you put Beebe in there, you're not going to lose to power. You might lose to just inexperience, but you're not going to lose to power.
Man, it's just so crazy, Brock hopping. Like one day, everything's cool. You playing next to Zach Martin and Tyler Smith, and the next game you with Earl Bostic and Waletzko and them. You know, it's just it just happens fast. You know, it happens fast. He
had to know though. Mm-hmm. He had to know when he sees Broaddus go, he's thinking, opportunity. What?
And they just
got a high third round pick. What? But he knew. He knew this minute when they made that pick that his job was on the line.
Hey man, look, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you, Brock Hoffman. And look, I think I've talked enough crap about him. He'll never come on this show. But I mean, I think we just rooting for the better dudes, man. Five
best. Give me the 5 best.
Continuity is cool, but better dudes is always better than continuity. That's something we always say here on the show. Bryan, one of my listeners, I forgot his name. Maybe I'll go on Twitter and go and find him. But and look, you are the boogeyman when it come to clips on Twitter, because we'll look at Chauncey Golston and we'll see people tweeting about it. We go, boy, Chauncey Golston went crazy today, and Bryan will go, man, Chauncey Golston ain't do all that. Chauncey Golston jumped off sides 10 times.
He got. I'll tell you what, man, they had a good goal line period. There was one time I was watching and Golston got dumped. He was playing left end. And who was it for the Chargers? One of their tackles came off the ball. Yeah, it was Connor McDermott came off the ball and dumped him. And I'm like, did he trip? Did somebody trip him?
We can't have nice things, man. We get all the what we should do is find the Rams beat reporter people and watch their clips and look at their highlights, and then we'll be good to go.
I tell you what, I really do. I love everybody that posts clips.
Yeah.
I just think you got to be careful, man. You've got to be careful because you don't see, and the only advantage I have, I would be just like everybody else, because if my big ass was sitting in a studio in Dallas watching this stuff, I'd be like, oh man, that looked great. Oh, hey, the one advantage I have is I could perch my big ass up and watch 2 fields and see guys go. And then maybe afterwards somebody invites me to go somewhere with them and see something I probably shouldn't see.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Curtis Bowler on Twitter, shouts out to you for listening, Curtis. He says, Bryan Broaddus, Voch Lombardi. Voch wasn't there, so you really talking to Bryan. Bryan Broaddus, B-R-Y-N Broad. Who's better right now at DN, Chauncey Golston or Marshawn Kneeland? Now, in my mind, I'm thinking this is unanimous Marshawn Kneeland going crazy out there. But apparently he's saying something in Chauncey that had him believing that Chauncey's up there with Marshawn. So Bryan, who's having the better camp, the better day? Let's just say.
Would you like to say how I replied? Do you remember how I replied, or did you have me on mute? Did you have me on mute already? Where you?
You was on mute. We wasn't live yet. But you want me to say it?
I said, give me Kneeland, please.
Ain't no mother Chauncey Golston better than no mother Marshawn mother. Is you damn crazy? The heck wrong with you?
Wait, where'd you get this? Have you had this?
I got a button with all kind of sounds on it, Bryan Broaddus. You know what I'm saying? Like I can.
Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son.
You know what I mean? I can hit all kind of little buttons.
City ball?
Yeah, I got buttons. Yeah. I'm just a little more serious with you, but I got buttons.
Okay, I'll tell you what. The goal line period today was I thought was good. I love what they did. They got after. Stafford got a hamstring injury in the practice, and it kind of like, whoa, yeah, that was one of those things where you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's see Jimmy Garoppolo and we've all seen Stetson Bennett. We all kind of understand that bit, but anyway, the goal line period was good, and they were able to. There was a couple different times where they actually played Kneeland inside at tackle. So then I think there's going to be a time where we're going to see Kneeland, Osa, Parsons playing on the left side rushing today. Man, they could not block him.
Yeah.
Holy jeez. If you Rams Twitter, it's like, so-and-so had a good day. It would be like, no, Micah Parsons wrecked your guys' practice today is what he did. He wrecked your practice today with the way they didn't have an answer for him. Yeah. Left side, right side, it didn't matter. Rushing from depth, rushing on the line, didn't matter. But it was good to see. It was good to see Kneeland. He had a couple of good pass rushes. He's just got to find a way to just kind of at that final 3-4 steps, just really explode and get there. But him playing defensive tackle, they got a sack. Parsons gets a sack. He walks the guard. I mean, dog walks the guard straight back into our quarterback, our really handsome quarterback's lap, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
I mean, just walks him back into the lap. So he plays with power, and if he could learn how to just
get rid of people,
get to that edge and just go, man, he could be a real factor.
Now, Brian, when I saw this on socials, I laughed pretty hard. And I just want to know where you and all your other people you was hanging around thinking the same thing. Albert Hudgens pushed down the Rams water people, and I couldn't help but to go.
Man, I don't mean to laugh. That was not good.
Out of all the people you could be physical with,
not good.
All week you chose to be physical with the water people playing quarterback in the pass rush drill.
Yeah.
Hudgens was already a guy that I thought was going to get cut anyway, and then they went to go sign some other 3-tech I never heard of before. But after something like this, them escorting him off the field, I don't know how we haven't heard Albert, former Cowboy, you know how to be Cowboys defensive tackle Albert Huggins, then got cut and playing in Jacksonville now, right? Like, I'm surprised I haven't heard that shit.
He walked by me after it happened. The period was over, and we were getting ready to shoot training camp live, and we're standing there, and he walks by with Tank. And Tank goes, "Are you okay, man?" Like, he asked him. He goes,
"The answer is no."
Are you okay? And he goes, "Man, they just kicked me out of practice. I can't." And Tank didn't even respond. It's like, hell yeah, they kicked you out of your practice, you dumbass.
Because Tank
what are you doing dumping their equipment, man?
Because Tank know that number 68 gonna be on a backup guard somewhere next week. He know it's a wrap.
We got tackles. We got 2 tackles.
Yeah, so whoever this new tackle is, they finna get 68. That's why Tank ain't say nothing. Tank ain't say, "Oh, I see you tomorrow." Why would he say that?
God, he dumped that guy. I felt so bad for the guy. I'm like, oh man, poor guy's just catching the ball, trying to like play the quarterback role. That's all he was trying to do. He wasn't hurting anybody. He wasn't like sidestepping or trying to fake like he was throwing the ball. He was just catching it so nobody would step on it and break an ankle or something like that. But I haven't. I've seen guys get accidentally dumped.
He
like
pushed
Mike
that man.
McCord. I've seen Mike McCord, who's the equipment guy here. He'll do the same thing. An old Mildew will stand back there and catch the ball, and he got dumped by accident.
Yeah,
but not a 2-hand shove to where he's rolling around on the sand field. No, not at all.
If you the water boy, you have got to run up to Hudgens, grab him by the leg, and try to pick him up and slam him just to get him back. And there's nothing that's gonna rally your team more than the water boy dumping the backup 3-tech on your damn team. Boy, the Rams would have whooped everybody after that, Bryan Broaddus.
It was funny. The Rams kind of charged over there and really didn't do anything. And I'm thinking,
look, Brian, they ran up and they went, "What are you doing?" They didn't push nobody. Hey, what are you doing?
They were probably worried that they were going to get kicked out of practice too. I think that's one of those things that if you fight, they kick you out of practice. All these coaches now have got drills or they'll make you play the whole preseason game.
Yeah, I saw that.
They'll make you play the whole game.
Yeah,
crazy.
This is a conspiracy theory floating around Twitter. Do you think Trey Lance gets traded to? This is not a serious question,
Minnesota?
By the way. This is not a serious question at all.
Yeah, I was asked about this on my show. Was it Minnesota? Is that what you're going to ask about, or at all?
Is Minnesota? But now at all is a fair point. Like, are there dudes on this team after we've watched them enough that got trade value to them? That's an interesting question for another day. But yeah, that's something that they were asking me about on the social medias, and I don't think it's gonna happen. But Trey Lance to Minnesota.
Has he got a $5 million guarantee?
Yeah, something
like that. Yeah, I don't see the Cowboys. I don't see the Cowboys doing that. I think they're gonna the discussion that Todd Archer and John Machota and I had at dinner last night was, would you just go with 2 quarterbacks? And then Archer threw in is that the Cowboy way of giving somebody a $5 million guarantee and not having them here or not having them play? If Minnesota makes it worth your while, I'm sure that they will listen. I mean, hell, Matthew Judon went, God dang, he went for a 3rd round pick.
Sure.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That I was kind of thinking, if you were going to trade him, and I know some people up in New England, and they were like, hey, we're fielding calls. I was kind of thinking they were going to get a 2 out of this.
Yeah.
And maybe a 3 and a 4 or something like that. But they just got a straight 3, knowing that the Falcons now have to pay. But Matthew Judon could play a little bit. I was surprised by that. But you will, if somebody's calling you and asking you questions about your team, you never turn down a call.
Yeah.
You never turn down a call.
Well, Bryan, I know you got a media obligation at 9 Central PM, so we'll let you go, sir.
Wait a minute, I just got a text.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of, if we could, he said, kind sir, can we slide you back to 9:20 Central?
Okay.
So if you got more stuff, fire. If you don't have more stuff, think of some things you want to know. How about that? I love being on your platform. Okay.
Oh, man. Appreciate
I'm going to
it,
answer
man.
this. I'm going to answer this question.
Okay.
I'm going to tell them 9:20 is fine because I got nothing to do but talk football with people.
Okay.
So,
well, Bryan, why you go ahead and texting that out?
Unless you want to dump me off, I can understand that.
Never. Never. So I've been waiting my whole life for this, sir. So has anything changed as far as the running back group and the running back competition?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Deuce is healthy enough to, practice now. And I saw Deuce chip in and block in and doing a pretty good job.
He helped Guyton.
Yeah, sure did. And people got to remember, man, Deuce ain't small, he's short. Like he's a thick dude, you know what I mean? He's just a little bitty. But is this really a running back race at this point, man? Because when I watched how they did play call in preseason last week or whatever, right? I was like, man, we throwing the ball 40 times. We're not trying to find out anything new about the running back situation. I think, Connor, Davis, and even Deuce kind of sort, I think is inevitable, right? I don't think those guys have a place here. Now, once you figure out what to do with them after they're cut, practice squad, whatever you want to do, that makes a little bit of sense. But I think this is looking like Royce, Rico, Zeke, and Hunter Lipke. Now, something I don't know because you was talking about Malik Davis.
No, man, they keep talking about. They keep whispering about Malik. They keep whispering about him, like, hey, and that's what always worries me when they're trying to kind of sell. You feel like they're trying to trial balloon something on you,
Yeah.
And maybe they're doing it in a way to try and get the media to talk about it. So maybe there's some trade value there.
Not on my show, Bryan Broaddus. I'm not going to say nothing positive about Malik Davis because that'll be lying. And my mama told me not to do that. But Bryan, I just can't shake the feeling. Tell me if this cap or not, right?
Yeah, I could see. I understand where you're coming.
No. This is I can't shake the idea that somebody's going to sneak onto this roster as the second kick return guy. Right?
No.
Somebody that we weren't expecting, whether it be Cropper, Durden, or Vaughn, one of those guys are going to sneak on as a second return teams dude that can do some offensive stuff. And we're going to be like, damn, they made it, but such and such didn't. Like somebody like that is going to happen. I just can't shake the feeling that Vaughn is in that conversation as a backup return guy or a second starting return guy, Bryan.
It'd be interesting to see. I always hate you always qualify by when you're trying to make a point. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, it is.
Now that he's healthy, we'll have a regular practice tomorrow, then nothing on Friday, and then a game on Saturday. But I have a feeling like that you're going to see a lot of Deuce Vaughn on Saturday against the Raiders.
Let me tell you why that's not going to matter.
I think they're going to be. I think you're going to see them be really interested in trying to, and by the way, Voch, this.
Yeah.
We're down to not many tackles left. I mean,
sure.
Ball had to kick out there at left tackle in the 2-minute drill, and they took Dak out of there because they're afraid that maybe something was going to happen.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just committed to saying, we're not going to throw the ball 40 times. We saw a bunch of throwing today. We don't need to see any more throwing. We need to see more running. So, but you don't want to get in a situation where you get a bunch of 3 and outs and now your defense is just destroyed.
Huffing and puffing, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, did anybody report what was wrong with Carson today? Did you see any notes on that?
Kalen Carson, the cornerback,
didn't practice at all. He had wisdom teeth taken out today.
Oh, what? So that's what the hell happened, Bryan Broaddus. I've had wisdom teeth pulled out, and I've been no good.
Yeah,
so,
So he was a wisdom teeth, and then they had Todd Archer described it as a hip pointer. I was told it was a hip bruise for Overshown. He was in the practice. It was something that came out of the game. So anyway, those are just a couple. I'm sorry, I've just scattered them around in my brain. I didn't know if anybody reported about Carson, but yeah, he had wisdom teeth taken out this morning. Okay. So I don't know. He might not be available, depending on if it was like surgery and stuff. He might be wearing some stitches, in that gum. But anyway, I could see a little bit more of, let's see if we could try and run the ball with Deuce, or let's just give Davis or somebody an opportunity to Freeman. Let's give one of these guys an opportunity to see, hey, let's have a game where all of them get an opportunity, and whoever shines the best, we'll keep them around for a little bit more, and they'll get the third game to see how they're doing it, and maybe they make your team that way.
I think Deuce's only hope is if they do go out there and throw the ball 40 times, he gets eight catches or something. Like, I think that's his only hope. I think that's the only hope. Him showing value in the catching game and just this new kick return nonsense or whatever. If Deuce can show his value there, but Bryan, I've made the mistake of going back last year and watching Deuce Vaughn in preseason again, and he looks fantastic when it's blocked up for him, Bryan Broaddus. So, if we have a more physical center and we're actually run blocking appropriately, I can see this world where Deuce Vaughn looks fantastic. Yep. Brian, man, I don't want please. Well,
no, he in the red zone period, there were a couple times, one of the better runs they had, inside runs. Man, we were standing in the end zone, and like they handed the ball and everybody came off, and it's like, where's he? Yeah. Next thing, he starts to the right. Now he's diving in the left into the end zone, and you're kind of like going, oh, okay, he found a hole there. So it's at least good to see him back. I mean, he was over there on the cords with me for all these practices. It felt like he missed the whole training camp. I mean, just getting back, we've got only really another week left here. So, and some off days as well because of games and stuff, but yeah, we'll see. You might be right about that you don't see it. And that might be the truth.
Is Zeke the fourth best running back on this team?
he at times he does. He looks like, but he no longer has that. And man, he hadn't had it for a while. So what am I saying? Yeah, 2016. God, what a player that was.
A long time ago, man.
Long time ago, bro. But no, he's hey, you know what? I'm throwing dirt on him, but yeah, he's not what he was. They're trying to keep him in bubble wrap as long as they can. And he's gonna play his ass off for like 8 weeks.
5 games, Bryan Broaddus.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be 5 to 8, maybe halfway, and it's just going to be, okay, he can't go anymore. Let's put somebody else in there and let's go. I know.
Terrible.
I know you're shaking your head. I get you.
Horrible. Man, I'm going to let you get some rest before your 9:20 obligation. That's all I got. I ain't want to talk too much in circles. I really just wanted to update on Golston and Kneeland, and you was like, Golston. And I really wanted to update on Guyton.
Golston's, I mean, he looks better. He looks better on the edge than he does at tackle.
Yeah. Well, he's the same size he's been for 3 years or whatnot. So and
I've been waiting for him. I mean, his tape at Iowa. You watched his tape at Iowa. The guy was a good player.
Yeah, physical dude, strong dude, run stopping dude. We ain't seen that yet, but maybe that's the last administration. I don't know. BRY Yin Broaddus on social medias. He's gonna be fussing with y'all, answering questions and all that kind of little stuff. Appreciate y'all. I'm Voch Lombardi. Y'all can follow me. We're gonna ramp this thing up for me in September, so I ain't telling y'all to follow me till the till the regular season starts. All right. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hold it down till next time. Crown.